reporter and insider Tim Skubic and consultant Steve Hood. We thank you both for being here. Let's begin with this low voter turnout. Now, reporters love these horse races, but apparently the voters were yawning.
Yeah, nobody in this field, Hugh, really excited the passion of the voters. You know, everybody else basically found something else to do today than show up at the polls. A miserable turnout, but that takes nothing away from Virg Bonero's win. And if Snyder turns out to be the winner, what a huge story that turns out to be.
Well, how did Snyder pull this off? Was it simply because he had millions in his pocket and could fund his own campaign?
No, it's because of his good ads. He had some really excellent ads. I think that ad with Bill Ford, where he showed the Democrats that's saying, I'm voting for Rick Snyder, that did it. I think that really did it. That caused some people to jump the fence.
Let me just take a shot at it from this point. If Rick Snyder was involved in a two-person race tonight, he does not win. If you took the 50,000 votes that Mike Cox got, give those to Pete Hoekstra, who wins? Pete Hoekstra does. The fact that he had a divided party, the conservatives all went for those four guys. He did get some crossover Democrats today. He got some Republicans who are moderates from the old Milliken coalition, which goes back 8,000 days to 1978. He put that all together, and that's why he won tonight. In a two-person race, Snyder's not your Republican nominee.
Well, what happened to the fighter, the ultra-conservative, the Tea Party favorite, Mike Cox?
Tea Party was dissipated. Tea Party was dissipated. They didn't know which way to go. All right, they didn't know whether to go with Hoekstra, they didn't know whether to go to Snyder, or they didn't know whether to go to Cox. And what happened to Cox was the question. All right, the question of his integrity. We discussed that 2 weeks ago, or last week.
The rumors never proven.
It was never proven, but it raised the question, can this guy be trusted?
And here's the other part of the equation. The traditional Republican coalition of business and right to life are the losers here tonight. They could not deliver for Mike Cox. They went out on the ledge. They endorsed him. That's supposed to carry the mail in a Republican primary. Guess what? They're back there sitting, what did we do wrong? They picked the wrong guy.
And Hoekstra popular out west, but not so much so in Metro Detroit. That's right.
We got to see the final numbers. He apparently did not get a big bounce out of West Michigan, but we don't know that for sure. And of course, it's not over till the fat lady's singing. But Hugh, I hear her warming up.
Indeed you do. And of course, the big story tonight, Virg Bonero coming from behind. 4 weeks ago, he was well behind Andy Dillon, but tonight he wins big. You said it would happen.
That's right.
And you say, Tim, that abortion may have been the key issue here.
An amazing story. When is the last time? Can you remember when we had a Democratic primary and to some degree maybe the Republican primary decided on the abortion issue, a single issue in a Democratic primary? As it turns out, Andy Dillon, I think, mishandled that issue, as we're about to hear from a Democratic consultant who said basically he didn't explain it away, and Bonero stuck him with that issue. Let's listen.
Elections, not the pundits or the pollsters.
He has said that he would respect Roe v. Wade if elected governor, and I think that's something he needed to amplify, and that may have cost him votes, but I don't know if it will have cost him the election per se.
By amplify, you mean?
To be very clearly that he would not be an activist governor and looking to roll.
The possible winner of the Republican primary here, Rick Snyder, the choice is very, very clear.
Absolutely, and give credit to the union movement. They are part of the winners here tonight. They delivered for Virg Bonero. The pro-choice women delivered for him. The Greens delivered. He put together basically that coalition that won years ago every Democratic primary with their guy. Now the question is, can he broaden that beyond the unions and the pro-choice thing to bring in those independents that apparently went for Mr. Snyder and away from Mr. Dillon?
Well, anger may play well among the union members, but Steve Hood, will it play well across the rest of the state?
I don't know if it'll play well across the state. What's got to happen, he's got to expand his message while focusing it. All right, you just can't be angry all the time. You've got to give solutions. If you don't have solutions, if you can't figure out how to put talented Michigan back to work, all right, you're not going to get elected. There are too many people out of work. White, black, Puerto Rican, they're out of work. All right, and the state cannot survive. State government is too large. All right, but back to one of your earlier comments, you know, you laid the Bonero victory on the abortion issue. I say also that Andy Dillon was too closely aligned to the Granholm administration. Too closely aligned there, because her shadow is an